Good evening and welcome back to Arsenal Domination, where I want to talk about Mikel Merino and his time at Arsenal and what the future might hold. This is a pre-record, so if he does anything stupid or amazing against Spurs tonight, I will not, or last night when you're watching this, I will not be commenting on that. But I do want to touch on Mikel Merino. Mikel Merino obviously was not Arsenal's first choice midfielder in the summer. Arsenal the previous year went to sign Kai Havertz to play the left 8 role. That didn't work out, but he has had some success in the number 9 role, although we all expect him to be upgraded this summer. But the choice to replace him in midfield was Martin Zubimendi, of course, at the time the Real Sociedad teammate of Mikel Merino. And it does look like that Arsenal are finally going to get their man this summer with Mikel Merino. Mikel Merino Mikel Merino likely to be joined by Martin Zubimendi this summer in what will be a definite upgrade. But as I say, Mikel Merino arriving last summer for £28.5 million. And it's fair to say that his time here has been mixed at best. I think Arsenal's original idea when he signed was that he would partner Rice and Odegaard in central midfield as part of a midfield three, Party being sort of a backup with Jorginho there, and Waneri backing up Odegaard. The idea being, I think, that Rice plays a right 6, Mikel Merino the left 8, and Martin Odegaard sort of in the right 8 role, sort of 8-10 hybrid. But I think due to Thomas Partey's excellent form this year and the injuries to Mikel Merino, we haven't really seen that too much. And as a result, he has become a bit of a lightning rod for criticism, partly because of his performances, partly because of the expectations of a team not being met this season, so far at least, and in all likelihood not going to be met. And partly, if I'm honest, for a few, I think there has been a little bit of an agenda against Mikel Merino. But the question is, has he really been that bad, and is there more to come for him? So I think if you look at Mikel Merino's performance, I think some of the criticism has been legitimate. He has been slow to adapt, and at times he's looked slow and clumsy, especially in possession. His touch and passes have lacked fluidity. He's not progressed the ball at all well. I think he's progressed the ball compared to Rice around about 60 yards less per 90 minutes than the number 6 in our team has. And that's an issue when you're supposed to be a slightly more offensive player. But I do also think that this has been slightly overblown, some of these bits. I think, as was always the case when Arsenal or any team aren't doing very well, we tend to focus on the negatives. And these issues he has, and they are real issues, tend to get highlighted a little bit more without the recognition of the things he does well. I think it was Manchester United earlier this season. He actually had a relatively decent game. You know, his passing was good. He was aggressive in the tackle. He helped control and dominate the midfield. But I think he even got an assist in that game as well, if I remember rightly. But all anyone talked about after the game was the horrific miscontrol where he let the ball roll under him and it allowed a shot on our goal, which ultimately didn't go in. But that's all anyone was talking about. And forgive me if I've misremembered the game, but I'm sure you'll all remember that horrific miscontrol about 10 yards outside our own penalty box earlier in the season. Look, and things like that at this level, at a professional level, cannot happen, particularly when you're a midfielder as accomplished as Moreno, playing in a side as accomplished as Arsenal. And then we are seeing those things a little bit too often. So I think those criticisms are absolutely fair. However, I don't think he's helped in terms of the narrative around him by the fact he's not flashy. He does the dull, dependable, boring stuff that no one sort of likes, but everyone and no one appreciates, but everyone misses when it's not there. I think he's more akin to sort of a Jorginho than say a Rice. You know, Rice might be more defensive, but he can do some flashy things. He can do some real driving runs. He can make those big tackles. He can make those long, swirling passes. He'll get in the box, he'll do the set pieces. And Mourinho doesn't really do a lot of that. He does some of it. And it also doesn't help from Mourinho's point of view that, of course, he replaced a cult hero in Emil Smith-Rowe that no one, including myself, wanted to see leave. But he's also not been helped by the fact he missed pre-season. And I don't think we should underestimate the impact of him missing pre-season has had on him. heard people speak about, Theo Walcott spoke about, I think Thomas Partey or Gabriel Jesus, or maybe both have spoken about the importance of pre-season and how when you miss it, you feel like you're catching up. And I think that's doubly so when you're moving to a new team, into a new country. And I do think that has had a significant impact on his adaptation to Arsenal, and probably a little bit of him trying to sort of overprove himself. But despite the issues I spoke about earlier, he has actually surprisingly got quite a few good stats and sort of impact on the team that probably goes unnoticed to a large amount. He has won the most tackles in the squad in the final third, and I think this helps create turnovers for Arsenal in dangerous position. But it also helps with the way we are looking to play, which is to play high, dominate possession, dominate territory, and have that high aggressive defence where we look to win the ball back quickly. And not allow the opposition time and space on the ball to develop anything. And Mikel Merino does play a crucial role in that. He also ranks first at the club in aerial duels and blocks, and I think the fact he is left-footed is really helping balance our midfield. It might not be so flashy, and I certainly don't like him playing sort of with two other defensive midfielders, Martin Odegaard and Wanyeri centrally when Moreno plays is very important. But he does add balance, particularly with Calafiori, where he's, looking to get forward from left back, or even Miles Lewis Skelly. And I think that helps make Arsenal's attack look better because the balance is there and we're not just so reliant on that right hand side, which I think is really, really important. And Moreno really, really helps with that. And I think some of this has been borne out in recent weeks as he started to get more comfortable, get more minutes, and get more physically up to speed. And I think it's borne out by both his stats and the eye test. Most noticeably, he had in back-to-back games a goal and an assist, not in each game. I mean, in total, goal in one and assist in the other. And I think he's looking to start to get into more dangerous areas and look far more comfortable. And I think that sort of suggests we will see better things from him in the second half of the season. So in conclusion, look, he wasn't the signing that we wanted. He's never going to be a flashy star. Personally, I would have rather seen a signing like Eze come in and play in that 8 role rather than Moreno. But he is here. I think he will have a really important role to go playing forward. I think next season he will become a squad player, and that's probably his level. And at £28 million, that's probably what you expect from a squad player. 28.5, sorry. You expect from a squad player. And I think he will take the place of Jorginho and or Partey in the summer when one or both of those move on. And I think that is the right thing. But ultimately, I don't think we've seen the best of Mikel Merino. I think we will see that more and more over the coming second half of the season, and that he will prove to be a valuable asset going forward. So that's my reflections on Mikel Merino, and hopefully that will be borne out, because if we do see 3 or 4 goals from him in the back end of the season, that could prove crucial. Anyway, that's enough for me. I will speak to you all soon. Thanks. Bye.